The acts of being racist, or racism, has been existent for nearly all of human history. Racism is a topic in which a solution, perhaps, will never be evident. Although racism is a non-solvable problem, there are ways to help discourage it among society today. My social conscious project concerns the establishment of racial organizations such as the KKK and some aspects of the Black Lives Matter movement. I believe in order to fight racism, groups should not have a bias towards a specific race. This may only cause more racial injustice, as seen in the Charlottesville riots. Many racial groups hate the word racism, but yet some follow the very nature that the word defines. You might think me as a steadfast opposer of racial organizations, but in actuality, I'm the opposite. Other than the KKK, I believe that their cause has meaning, has motivation, and really does want to make a change. I am against some of the violent ways they try to approach it. In order to make a change, I developed 3 social choice projects: a letter, a presentation, and a speech. With the letter, I addressed it to the leaders of the Black Lives Matter organization. I acknowledged the beneficial aspects of the organization, but criticized some of the violent ways that their organization was a part of. I believe with this letter, it would make their leaders realize that there has been some violence in their approach. I didn't come in with the mindset to suddenly make a change. I was hoping that they may consider some of the past situations, such as the Ferguson riots, where some of the members were robbing stores, burning down buildings, and burning down cars. I want them to see that this is not the path to go down, and as leaders of a racial organization group, to become more aware of their protest and how they achieve it. The second choice piece that was done was a presentation concerning racial organizations and racism in general. I addressed this presentation to children in society because they are the next generation who could make change to fight racism. With this choice piece, I believe the change that it could possibly make is for children of the next generation realize that racism is a detrimental aspect of society and that they would act upon it. I'm a strong believer that racism starts in the household, and if children can grow up in the mindset that racial injustice is terrible, we would be one step closer in fighting racism. The last choice piece was a speech. The speech is in regards to racial groups once again and talks about their hypocritical nature. I believe that this speech makes change due to similar as a reason as the first student piece. Instead of addressing only to the Black Lives Matter organization, it is addressed to every social group that exists in the United States. With this speech, it would hopefully gain the awareness from their leaders, and it will make them realize the unjust nature of some of their protest. Even though I did not send these out to the public, I believe that these are the changes that it would possibly make. Racism is always be existent in society in one form or another. There is no possible solution because it is human nature, but we, as members of our society, can always strive to fight against it. I believe that the start is with racial organizations. To clarify once more, racial organizations are not harmful to society. I am against some of the violence that they cause. Thank you for listening.